It's your boy Aaron L. I'm back with another one. It's September 21st, a Sunday, and we have Charlie Kirk funeral today. A lot of people are mourning his funeral. He's having his funeral at a huge stadium. Tens of thousands of people is going to Glendale, Arizona. Donald Trump and his team will be in the building. They say the security is tight. They say it's jam-packed, tens of thousands of people. The funeral is being televised. This guy was a political activist, voiced his opinion about a lot of topics. He was friends of a lot of people in Donald Trump's cabinet, and they're there to support him. Now, he was shot at a Utah university giving a speech. If you guys don't know what happened to Charlie Kirk, it's basically a sensitive topic. We have a lot of people, comedians, late night talk show hosts, and a lot of people made memes and stuff about Charlie Kirk on TikTok, and a lot of people voiced their opinions, snarkling or whatever they was doing, cracking jokes, whatever they was doing, and they paid some consequences for that. And we have to talk about just people understanding that when you make these videos, they not gonna censor you, but at the same time it could be a consequence for you saying what you're gonna say. So Charlie Kirk funeral is today. Rest in peace, Charlie Kirk. Send your prayers and condolences out to his family, his wife, and his kids. It's a sad situation where a guy, goes out to a university to, support the university and then voice his opinion about political topics and stuff that he's adamant about and that he's concerned about and that he care about, and people don't see his views the same way he see them. So you feel like, you want to assassinate this guy just off of the things that he think, which it doesn't make sense. It just doesn't make sense. That was what didn't even make sense to kill Charlie Kirk. The young guy that did do it was caught, was arrested. I will do another video on him and how his case is progressing. But Charlie Kirk, he's getting laid to rest today. They said that Donald Trump will be at the funeral. He will address the crowd. A lot of people that knew Charlie Kirk will address the crowd. It's a lot of people that's with the presidential cabinet that know Charlie Kirk personally. They're going to get up and just show their support and show their respect and condolences to him and his family. Because, it's just a sad day in Arizona right now, because you have a guy getting laid to rest that probably lived right. He wasn't looking to harm anyone. He just voiced his opinion. He probably didn't even have really a lot of security there. That's why I say this guy couldn't have been a senator or a mayor or nothing like that, because when they have public speakings, they have security there. It's people that's there to watch out for people that's looking to target you for things that they don't like about you. So Charlie Kirk didn't have that. So this was just a guy. He did have ties to the presidential candidate with people that worked for Trump. I'm not for sure if him and Trump personally had a relationship together and knew each other. I'm not for sure about that, but he definitely knew people that was in Trump cabinet, and he definitely had ties to the president. That's why the president is at his funeral now. They said tens of thousands of people showed up, so that just lets you know how many people recognize Charlie Kirk for what he done, how many people supporting his family, and how many people that are disgusted and disgraced with just the way that Americans carry themselves when they disapprove of something that you are saying or you doing, and that's why a lot of people are pushing for these gun laws and everything that they're doing, because the gun violence has just been at an all-time high when it comes to people shooting at schools, just shooting into a crowd of people, shooting at people, that has an opinion about something you're doing. It's not even negative. You're not a negative person. You're not out here breaking the law or committing crimes. You're just voicing your opinion about certain things, and people that see different than what you see, they want to assassinate you. And Charlie Kirk became a victim of that. But it's just good to see that they televising his funeral. They're supporting his family. His family can put him to rest. In a way, that's a beautiful way to put him to rest, by having the president there. A lot of people that's with the president cabinet, and actually having the president of the United States speaking at his funeral. So, I mean, you know, sometimes it's sad that you don't reach the peak of your fame until you die. But, you know, sometimes that's how it be. You know, when a person passes, he becomes way more famous than he was when he was alive. You know, and sometimes that's a sad situation, because I never really heard of Charlie Kirk until he was killed. You know, but now that I'm getting to know the guy and understanding what he stood for and what he was trying to do, I can definitely see what his angle was. And he was just trying to get his opinion out there, make people aware of things that he was aware of. And he was just trying to help in whichever way he was trying to help, whether you were favorable of it or not. You know, Charlie Kirk felt he was doing the right thing with the direction he was, you know, aiming at, you know, and these people don't see it like that, and you know, go to one of his rallies, one of his speeches, and knew that the guy didn't have security, knew you would be able to get inside the crowd with the weapon, and you get inside the crowd with the weapon and you assassinate this guy, you know. But that's why the guy who did it got caught. You know, that's what he deserved. It was a sensible killing. Charlie Kirk didn't deserve that, you know, and he's going out like a champ. You know, you got the president there, you got a whole bunch of celebrities there that supported him, a lot of people that didn't like what happened, and I hope that, you know, they put a GoFundMe out or something like that to help take care of his family, because this guy was trying to do the right thing and he got killed for it, you know. So, you know, shout out to Charlie Kirk and his family. This is Aaron L. just doing a follow-up on the Charlie Kirk funeral, and you know, just giving my opinion, because I feel like it wasn't right, you know, and he didn't deserve that, you know. And a lot of people who making memes and these talk show hosts who are joking around with it, and a lot of people who's just trying to use this as a platform, you know, it's not right. You know, if you are going to use it as a platform, at least have a positive message about Charlie Kirk and what he done and the work he was doing. You know, he was a political activist, a guy who had an opinion about politics. He had an opinion about the direction his country was going in. He had an opinion about a lot of different things that probably wasn't favorable to people, and that's totally understandable. Everybody has an opinion. America's a free country. That's your right. You have a right to have an opinion about the way you see things. You know, I have an opinion. You know, I don't mean to rub people the wrong way with my opinion, but it's just how I think. You know, and Charlie Kirk didn't mean to rub people the wrong way with his opinion. That's just how he thinks. And, you know, everything that's going on around him in the world, this is what he see it as. You know, whether he feels this is right or this is wrong, that's just his opinion. You know, and that don't mean that, okay, he thinks different than what I think, so I'm going to kill this guy. That doesn't make sense. You know, if your mind hears someone say something and you disagree with what they're saying, why would your mind think, I'm going to kill him? You don't need to kill this guy because he thinks different than you. You know, just understand that he has an opinion, you have an opinion, and y'all could agree to disagree. You know, and that's just how it goes, and you keep moving on with life. You know, Charlie Kirk, he was trying to make better out of situations that he felt wasn't right. You know, I don't know what his opinion was on a lot of things. I'm going to take a look back at a lot of work he was doing so that I can get to know the guy better and kind of really know what his angle was in life when it came to being a political activist. I'm not for sure if he was against the gun laws and he was trying to push a narrative for that. I don't know if it was government spending. I know he was, you know, he was with the Republican Party. You know, I like Donald Trump. You know, I like some of the things he do. I don't like some of the things he do. But overall, you know, I'm pro-Trump. I'm not going to sit here and say something against Trump now that he became president. And there's a few things about him that I kind of start to go, But, you know, like I said, I was pro-Trump before he won a presidential race. And I'm still pro-Trump now. You know, that's our president. I got to ride with him, you know. But like I said, this is a video for Charlie Kirk. His funeral is today. He's being laid to rest. All his supporters and friends and family and everyone's there. It's in Glendale, Arizona. He was killed at a Utah university. And it's just a sad day for America to see a guy get killed that want to voice his opinion. This is the Aaron L Show. Please like, comment, subscribe down at the bottom. I appreciate all my new subscribers, and I appreciate you if you watch this video to the end. I love you guys, and I'll be back with another one.